The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. All right, Eddie. Xtreme Couture. I like to call him the general, one of the generals out there at the gym. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's jump right into it. Bellator 286, Jeremy Kennedy, his fight against Aaron Pico. You know, you're in the corner. What a crazy sequence of events, man, in that fight.
Yeah.
When you were sitting there cage side during round one, at what point did you know that the shoulder was hurt?
When Jeremy had his back and he had kind of jacked his Aaron's shoulder up, and I saw Aaron like hammer fisting it and then pointing at it, I had some suspicion that something was going on with it. I didn't know it was to the extent that it was, because Aaron's a warrior. He tried to get his coach to put it back in and keep going, So, respect to that guy. You hate to see something happen like that in a fight. You want both guys to leave healthy and be able to go out there and showcase their skills and what they've been working on. But it happens. That's combat and combat sports. So the
Definitely.
level of unpredictability there.
Oh, definitely. And, in that situation, the guy is injured, and this is the hurt business. I look at the shoulder being injured, like having a busted eye or maybe even a damaged
Mm-hmm.
calf or something like that. Do you tell the fighter to attack it? Is that something you would do?
I wouldn't specifically tell him what to do, but I'm definitely going to bring to his attention that there's an injury. And Jeremy, knowing what he wants to do and what he's feeling in that situation, or any fighter, can choose to maybe, at that point, strike a little bit more. He's down an arm, or go back to what you were doing because he's not being able to defend it, like the same. So, I'm not going to be like, hey, hurt this specific situation or part or whatever's going on more. I feel like they're probably going to do that already. I just want to point it out, and it's not necessarily like hurt that area more. It's just take advantage of that opportunity given.
Definitely. I go back to the Jose Aldo Korean Zombie fight where the Korean Zombie, like you noticeably you saw his shoulder was
Mhm.
popped out and Jose just started kicking it, right? There wasn't the
Yeah,
coach. I don't think the coach said anything, but Jose saw that and said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna finish the fight right here."
exactly, and that's what I expect from those guys.
Mm.
I'm just going to point it out, and I expect them to, take advantage of the situation. Should it occur.
Now, after the round was over, you see Brendan Gibson pulling on Pico's arm, trying to pop the shoulder back in. What's going through your mind watching that from the other side?
To be honest, I didn't see that whole sequence of events. I was
Mm.
looking at Jeremy, but our third man in the corner, we kind of have them get eyes on the opponent and watch what they're doing. And he was relaying that information, about his shoulder was hurt, his shoulder was hurt. So, yeah, I saw
But
the video afterwards. I'm like, hey, that's all you could do, though. Just do
yeah.
your best, try to get it back in so he could finish the fight.
A lot of
Props to those
people
guys.
were a lot of people were like attacking the doctor because the doctor should have came in and done something about the shoulder rather than the coach, right?
Yeah, well, the doctor can't touch it. The doctor can't put the
Oh,
shoulder back in during the fight. So they're not
okay.
even allowed to do that. All they could do is say, yes, you can continue, or no, you can't.
Yeah. What was his clavicle broken? Did you find out exactly like what happened?
No, his shoulder came out of
Okay.
completely out of the socket, pretty much to the point where it was like, even after the fight, talk with Aaron. He's a class act always.
Yeah.
So is Coach Gibson, all those guys, Jackson, Greg Jackson, all those guys. They're always real respectful. Everybody's real cool all camp. So, I just wanted to tell him I was sorry for the sequence of events, and that's how the fight had to end. And he was like, told me, he's like, Coach, my shoulder was all the way out. There was no way, I should have continued that. So, props to him for trying, but, it was bad. It was bad enough.
Do you think they should run that back?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see why not. Maybe not Jeremy's next fight. We're trying to get a quick turnaround, hopefully against that kid that he called out in Ireland in his backyard. But,
Mm.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't make those calls as far as like
Yeah.
when and where. It's just one of those things.
I don't know. It's almost like like if Pico would have won that fight, they might have fast tracked him to maybe fight for the title. I feel like Jeremy could take that position and fight for the title next if everything works out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like either of those guys are ready. They could go up there and perform. We'll always take, whatever route that they want to give us. I'm not into, pushing guys towards a faster path than they want to go, or that we all collectively as coaches and the team feel like they should go. But, you know, experience wise, I think, Jeremy could do well. And I think matchup wise, I think he's a good matchup there. He's a tough guy to fight.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's a crazy grappler, and once he gets a hold of you, it's hard to get up from under him or get away from him. So
Yeah, I think the last couple of years working at Xtreme, he's become a completely different fighter under your guys' guidance.
yeah, it's been nice to see him evolve. He works super hard. So, he's a good person. He and his wife, they're good people. That he does everything right in and out of the cage or in and out of the gym rather. And so it's nice to see, good things happen to people like that. And yeah, I could say that about all the guys,
Yeah.
but he's a pleasure to work with. And it's been nice to watch him evolve both from a stand-up striking perspective and a grappling perspective, and also being able to blend the two.
Yeah. Another fighter that you've been working with for a couple of years now is Casey O'Neill. She's become a top 15 fighter in the world. How has it been working with her and developing her overall game?
It's been great. It's great working with her. She works extremely hard. She does so many sessions a week. We actually had to pull her
Yeah.
back a little bit, from overworking herself. She's just such a hard worker. And it's been nice to see the evolution, that she's been able to do. Again, her all around game, bits everywhere. And, I think it showed in her success so far. Obviously a little bit of a bump in the road with the knee injury and the surgery, but she got cleared to start hitting again a couple weeks ago, and I'll tell you, I mean, she's looking great and she's moving well, and she really hits hard. So, and she's got that mean streak, which I think is a necessary thing. So I expect her to really really do well in the sport.
Yeah, someone like her, I've known Casey for a few years now, and she's always known for that. Like she's known for doing too much. Like she needs to relax. Like how do you do you have to get angry at her? Like does she listen to you like right away?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I have to get angry at her, but
Yeah.
there definitely is that, she does. She respects the positions of her coaches, and she listens. It might take a couple times or a little bit of convincing or stuff like that, but no, she does really well, and she does great with feedback and constructive criticism, and she's very coachable. So, sky's the limit for her. She just keeps doing what she's doing.
Yeah, she's very close to the top, and when you look at the top at flyweight, you got Valentina. She looked pretty much almost unbeatable the last couple of fights. Then she fought, um, damn, what's her name? It slips my mind right now. Santos.
Yeah. So
She fought
yeah,
Santos, right? And Santos had a great game plan, executed it well. A lot of people thought she won that fight.
a
And
lot
then
of
when I
people
look at
did.
the top 15 and I look at skill sets, I look at Casey as the one that probably, if she, as she develops more, not the next fight, but in a couple fights,
No.
could be the one to dethrone her, right?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has the capability. Again, her, we touched on, not rushing somebody, and her more so than anybody. It's like she's young, she's just getting started. Let's start it in the UFC per se. I mean, not just she's had 4 fights in the UFC now, but there's no reason to rush her to that position, because then where do you go from there? So we just want to continue to gain experience and momentum, gain confidence and experience in the fights as she's moving up the ranks, and just take it a little bit at a time, kind of chip away at it.
She said to me that she's dancing with the idea of dropping to 115 because the best fighters are in the world are at strawweight. What do you think about that move?
I mean, if she can make that weight, I could tell you right now, that's a very slim possibility. And she walks around fit. She
Yeah.
works really hard. It's not like she's got a whole lot of weight to lose there, so she's gonna have to dip into quite a bit of muscle mass. So I'm not sure. I mean, she's doing so well at 25.
Yeah.
Why fix something that's not broken?
Exactly. I look at it like that too as well. Cody Stamman, man, he got a huge win in his last fight against Eddie Barraco in June. Any updates on him?
We're just waiting. We've been waiting since then. He's been trying to get a fight. Essentially, he wanted the next week to get out there and fight. Obviously his fight finish was really fast, so no damage, and he was ready to go. So we've been staying busy. We've been working nonstop. We're pretty much from a couple weeks out from that fight, we're just always on that borderline to being able to start camp. So he's done a lot in the sport already, and he works really hard, and he's a student of the game. And the improvements that I saw over the last two camps with him have been astounding. Like, he's progressed considerably. So it would be nice to see him go out there and get to use that and show some of that stuff, because obviously he's a wrestling powerhouse. But I mean, the kid can box. The kid's got hands, and he's got quick kicks and stuff. So it'd be nice to see him use all that stuff and continue to do well and be successful. But we're ready to go. We're just waiting on a call. We just kind of played around with some opponents, and we were game for it, and then nothing really ever happened for it. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's a guy that I look at. Not many guys stylistically want to fight him. You know what I mean? He's had some tough losses, but he's come back, got a win, quick win. And man, he's a workhorse, man. You've seen him, like, the wrestling's crazy. Like you said, his boxing, like, his movement is getting better. You see little incremental improvements even in the losses.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he does, again, that's another guy that does everything that you're supposed to do, takes care of himself both in and out of the gym, and trains really hard, and does what he's supposed to be doing. So, he's a good person too. He's a really good guy. So, you want success for people like that.
Yeah, and I've talked to him a few times, and he's a realist. Like, he'll say exactly like it is, you know what I mean? Even for himself and in the position he's in. And there's something to say about guys like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd rather hear the truth out of somebody's mouth and not necessarily like what they're saying, than instead of them just bullshitting you. Now you got to question whether or not what they're saying is even true. So, I always respect somebody if they tell it like it is.
Definitely. And another guy, Juicy J, man, what a story. What has it been like riding that roller coaster?
It's been a roller coaster for sure, but he's so talented, and what he does in the gym, if he could translate, and he did in his last fight, he did. But it's like, if he could translate a shred of that over to the competition night, like, that kid is going places in the division. Stylistically, height and reach, both the ability to strike and be dynamic in his striking. And, I don't think people understand how good his grappling and his jiu-jitsu is as well. I mean, maybe if they've watched him and followed him, but, he's one of those guys, though, that, again, if he could just, and he did, he translates it over. I mean, he's going to give a lot of people in that division a really, really tough fight. He's a hard guy to fight. So it was nice to see him go out there, as the underdog against a guy, with good Muay Thai striking for MMA, and good Muay Thai in general, and on a 7-fight win streak. For him to go out there and work a fight that was, like a masterclass fight. I was super excited for him. I was super pumped for him. His last couple fights, he's done great, but he could get a little chaotic at times, and and then Coach Casey and I get stressed out in the corner and lose a couple of years of our life. So it was nice that I wasn't as stressed this past fight.
Yeah. Well, the fans love that part of him, though. You know what I mean? The part where it does get.
How could you not, right?
Yeah.
Right. You
And
know what
I
you're going to
think,
get with him. Like, he's always going to be a fight of the night contender, just depending on who he's fighting, so.
Yeah, I love to see the success of him. You know what I mean? He's a guy that kind of just put his head to the ground, or his nose to the grindstone, and just worked hard, and now you're getting to see that success 3 in a row. He's just getting better with age. What is a matchup that you would like for him to see for him next?
we tossed around a couple ideas of opponents. I think he mentioned a couple of them in his post-fight interview after his last fight. So, stuff like that. Like, he wants to fight somebody similar build and size, that also likes to strike. So I don't mind that for him. Typically in his division, he's always fighting guys a lot smaller than him. Trying to wrestle him. So, we'll see. There's a couple guys in that division, and I'm drawing a blank on those names in this last post-fight interview.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank as well. I forgot what he said. Who's coming up next, man, for you from the squad?
Well, so we had an opponent, and I believe he said no. So Julian would have been up November 19th, I believe. So we might be looking at still that card or on the December 3rd card. We'll see. Hopefully Cody gets his call for that December 3rd card as well, or something around there. We're looking to fight both those guys, before the year's up. I have Saint Lion, who fights over in one championship, Gardashan. He's fighting December 3rd for the number 3 spot. So the winner will take that. And that's over in Manila. And then, possibly looking at Casey O'Neill coming back up in March on a UK card. So we'll see. No opponent for that yet as well. But a couple of those coming up. Young kid in the gym, up and comer, Abijah. He's fighting, I believe, this month in a couple weeks. So, look to see him continue to make the improvements in his wrestling game, and because he's got such great striking. So we'll see if he can blend that over, and be able to utilize both.
Man, that's a hectic schedule right there. Just that, and I know things are gonna pop up in between those fights as well.
Yeah, of course. We got some other guys fighting this month. Aleko's fighting this month. Another guy in the gym, up and comer, great teammate. Always working hard. So, yeah, there's always some stuff in the mix, and like you said, those last minute calls. If you stay ready, then you're able to jump on those opportunities, right? So
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Yeah. And being in Vegas, man, how convenient is that for you, having so many UFC guys?
Yeah, it's nice. I grew up here, so it was both an honor and a privilege for myself when I was training and competing to have the coaches and the gyms and the teams that we had here, even though this was before the days of Xtreme Couture and Syndicate and stuff. It was a lot more fractured up, but yeah, and then transitioning over to coaching and having Las Vegas the home of the UFC, and then building the facilities out here and having the gym like Xtreme Couture with the coaching staff that we do, and the people in the room, which is another thing that draws people out. It's not just the coaches; they know that they're going to get goes with some of the best guys in the world. Sun Sal's out right now training for his fight. He's doing his thing, so it's a blessing, and I'm very grateful to be able to be in this city and be in a position to where we get so many talented guys, both on the mat to coach, in the room coaching, and then people coming in doing seminars or stuff like that. It's a great experience both professionally and personally, and getting to continue to evolve and grow and learn as a coach, I think, is important. So it's nice to be surrounded by coaches that we continue to push each other and learn from.
Yeah, man, it's great to see that even your growth, man, in coaching the past couple of years is it's skyrocketed. I mean, you see it in the performance of the fighters, right?
Yeah, to an extent, and as a coach, it's like if they win, it's like, well, they did that. If they lose, it's like you take it all on, what you could have done or should have done, didn't do, did do, and you have to learn from that. But both the losses and the wins, can't hang your hat on it. You gotta just move on, and what's coming up next. You celebrate a little bit and you enjoy it, or you do some brainstorming and soul searching, try to figure out what went wrong, and and then you put your notes down and you figure out a game plan, and then you just got to move forward, both, losses and wins. So it's been nice getting the experience that I've got with the caliber of fighters that I've got, because as much as they learn from me as a coach, I learn from them as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's and like so many years ahead of you, man. It's hard to say like where you will be in 5-10 years. Who knows? Like
yeah,
who
never
knows who's
know.
gonna be a champion? Who knows what's gonna happen? But yeah, man, all the best of luck to you.